Hey guys, it's Alex here, and we have a brand new one-off slash potential show format that we're doing. It's Trivial Disputes. Get it instead of Trivial Pursuit. But today's topic is, should adults be playing video games at all? Period. And this is a very casual. It's not like hardcore. Like, oh, you have to lean one way 100% or the other way the 100%. It's just more like I'm on the side of I play video games, and you do not.
Yeah, it started because in one of our other shows, I took a jab and I said that if you're an adult and you play video games, I instantly think less of you. And clearly, I'm being dramatic. I don't actually think less of you, but I will say that I think an argument could be made that video games are for kids.
I could see that.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. It's fun.
So I will start off and just contextually, like, I'm assuming you mean like adults shouldn't play video games is coming from a sense that if you have like a wife and kids, you should always be doing something that's like you should be barely recreational with your time. Is that kind of where you're coming from?
You have so much time in a day, right?
Yes.
And then I believe in feeding your life with positive things, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To me, and everyone has a different idea of positive, right? Could a video game be positive, right? So, sure. But what I'm getting at is, by the time I've worked a 10-hour day, and it's very rare, I don't know many people that aren't working 10-hour days anymore. If you're not, then you should probably work more. But
no, I totally get that. Yeah.
So if you're working an 8 to 10-hour day, and then you're coming home and making dinner, and you're trying to catch up with your kids, and you're trying to understand how their day went, and you're trying to connect with your wife, and then after that's done, you're trying to, get everything prepared for the next day. It's like, wait, where are you fitting this in? Because you're neglecting something.
Well, probably sleep at that point.
You could be neglecting sleep. Yeah, sure. So okay, so let's just set the tone for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you say video games, what are you thinking of? Because what I'm being dramatic when I say it, I mean the person playing video games, as in the person spending 3 hours a night on the video game, or potentially, I know some people will do like 5-hour runs.
Oh, yeah. I did that as a kid. I don't do that now.
Sure. So like, I'm meaning the people that are like in it, like they're playing religiously.
Yeah, we're in the same camp on that. I think that there's a healthy amount of anything, and if you play more than you work, there's something going on there.
Is that possible?
Not for me, no.
No, but I mean like for people. Like, is there a reality that people can play more than they work?
If they don't have financial responsibilities and they have a job that's like 20 hours a week, that's the only thing I can.
Okay, so we're both on the same page. That's totally not.
I mean, in the sense that I'm a married guy as well.
Okay.
And also, this is a shock to you because I think you're the only person I haven't announced this to yet. My wife and I are pregnant.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, she's
I'm
pregnant,
about to
probably.
I'm about to switch, maybe not switch sides and be anti-video game, but I probably do not have much time coming very soon.
Yeah.
But so
congratulations.
That's
exciting.
Yeah. But I'm in the camp of like I play like 3 hours a week, 4 hours a week. Like
in a week,
and it's
that's
like
not bad.
It's like in a sense of like, okay, I get time to relax. I tend to choose like video games over like watching television or like it's more like my choice of like recreation.
So when you play a game, what do you play?
Anything under the sun. I play racing games, I play shooters, I play like like whatever's popular.
So I've played, like I used to be in on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And this was all, I was coming out of high school. I really didn't play much in high school, but after high school, and what I'd do is I'd get drunk and play video games. I would just sit there and and it was always playing zombies.
Yeah.
And I'd go for 2 or 3 hours, get sauced up, drink some booze and play some games until it's time to cut out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. Something's got to give. And then I started getting side hustles, and I'm a proponent, and I know this is an argued topic in itself. Yeah. I'm a proponent of the hustle culture, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's hard to afford a living, so get out and get a side hustle, right?
Exactly.
Like, I'm for that. I'm for doing, like, if you get off work and that's where everything ends for you, then I think that that's an unfulfilled life. But again, I understand there's holes in that as well.
Yeah, give them perspective, because you're also a business owner.
I am a business owner. Yeah. I built my business on a lot of hard work and hustle. Even when I worked at just like an employee position, I would work 75 hours a week. My old job,
I would work 60 to 75.
Yeah, I would work
during busy seasons.
There was one shift I worked. It was like a 25-hour shift.
Yeah,
without with of course a couple breaks in between, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
But like 22, I think.
That's a long shift. And so to me, when I would hear like a 16-hour shift, I'm like, it could be worse. Then I'd hear a 12-hour shift, I'm like, it could be worse.
Yeah, exactly.
I worked for one of the big ag companies, and we'd go 40 days in a row without one day off.
Yeah,
It was, and our schedule for a long time was 6 12s. So Monday through Saturday was a 12-hour day. Sunday was shutdown day, so Sunday was a 16-hour day.
Ooh.
So 6 12s and then like a 16, 15, or 18, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. I come from a world where a lot of my friends, they went to college, I went to work.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have money growing up, I went to work.
Yeah.
If I needed things, I went to work. If I wanted to afford a lifestyle, I went to work.
Yeah.
And so I think, and when I went to work, it was a lot different than these other people going to work. They didn't want to show up and work.
Yeah.
They'd show up and hang out and what,
Yeah.
like, it was just different.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Anyway, not to get off
Yeah.
answer, but like that's a little bit
Yeah.
the setting the tone for where I stand as far as like
Yeah.
when I hear video games, I'm like, where do you have time?
No, I totally get that.
Where
But
do you have time for it?
from a non-time perspective, do you also like? I have a question, then I have a thing to say about it. So, do you also feel like video games are not? There's not a lot of entertainment value in it compared to television and stuff like that. Like, do you have you played any games with really good stories in them, or is
There's
it mostly the Call of Duty or like that?
Not a lot of good stories. I played a little bit of football, a little bit of the football games, a couple of the basketball games.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're mostly a sports game guy,
well,
right?
Yeah. Let me tell you this. This will be
Yeah.
interesting. So when COVID first hit, I have two brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and so COVID first hits,
Yeah.
and we're like, crap, dudes, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
All of us were like, let's get Xboxes.
Yeah.
The day of shutdown, we all went, and we lived in different areas, and so this will tell you how out of touch we are. We went and bought Xboxes, and we bought this NASCAR game, and we ended up playing this dirt oval track.
Yeah.
And we would call each other on three-way phone because
He didn't know there was voice chat.
so no headsets. No, we'd call each other on three-way on our phone,
That's
and we'd
so
play.
funny.
And we had a blast. It was actually, it'll probably go down as one of the coolest things we've done.
Yeah.
Except for I smoked them. I mean, every single race.
I'm so good at racing games.
The race, it would be Kyle always got first, but Ryan and Brad competed for second.
Yeah, exactly.
Kyle always got first, and
Yeah.
put it this way, it lasted about a week, and then we all went and returned our Xboxes.
I get
and we're like,
it,
okay,
yeah.
we got to get back to work.
No, I totally get it.
So that's my experience recently.
Yeah, but I will say, like, I don't know how we haven't figured out run times and stuff like that. But I will say, if you have something to add, you're more than welcome to. I think that your argument is completely valid, and I think you and I actually agree on a lot of things. The only thing
Okay.
is more just like I don't have the heart of a business owner. So when I'm off the clock, I'll still think about work and maybe have some ideas for here because I'm actually a producer here. Like I'll come up with ideas and maybe I'll be like, okay, like I'm gonna game plan what's gonna be like what tomorrow's gonna look like. But like for the most part, when I get home, despite thinking about work in a general sense, I'm free to either spend time with my wife or like do whatever or maybe do chores or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like my responsibilities like will probably increase as time goes on with MLH Productions and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
maybe it'll be like maybe we'll just be cranking out content and stuff like that. But like the reason why I still really enjoy playing video games to this day is because not only is it like the sports games and stuff like that or racing games, but there's a lot of games that you probably haven't heard of or played that are they rival movies and television for how their storytelling is.
Here's what I wonder.
Yeah.
And because I agree, and I'm not saying that like they can't be fun.
No, for sure.
I'm just trying to think of like, and I assume that most people have busy lives. What's it gonna replace?
No, I totally
Like,
get
what's it gonna replace? Because I have my morning starts. You know, I have a Bible study. Then we have some production stuff. That's all leisure stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't do anything for my business. So it's like I have that. I go to the gym for an hour a day. So you're talking about an hour in a Bible study, an hour in the gym, maybe an hour every couple of days doing a podcast or one of these type of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I have my team meetings for my guys, and it's like this is all not even counting toward my personal business. Now I've got I sell about 45 homes a year.
Yeah.
Now I've got to fill out 45 clients throughout a year, and it's not just like a couple messages.
Yeah.
There at any given point, I have 30 plus text messages on my phone
Yeah.
and 5 missed calls.
Yeah.
And so I just think I'm like, where can this fit in?
Yeah.
Do I take away a Bible study? I don't
you
think that,
you couldn't justify
like
that.
you
Yeah.
could. Do you take away the gym?
Yeah.
I couldn't justify that either because that does more for my mental than my
Yeah.
physical. That sets that I usually will listen to a podcast, a
Yeah.
sermon, some good music that's going to feed me.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it can't take the place of that. And then my business, okay, well, mama ain't going to be happy if I stop bringing in the cheddar.
Exactly.
So that's not an option. And so when I get home, what you're talking about, turning it off, right?
Yeah.
I really do dream of the day that I can get to a point in my business where I turn it off because now I'm at a point, not even retirement,
joking.
but no, you're right.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
do want to retire. I'm not
Yeah.
the guy that wants to work forever. I
Yeah.
want to retire. But what I'll say is this, we can't even go on vacation without me being glued to my phone.
I get it, yeah.
I cannot be somewhere that I don't have access to my laptop within about a 20-minute window.
Yeah.
And so it's a problem. I've had to walk out just recently. We went to Vegas for my daughter's dance competition, right?
Absolutely.
And we're in Vegas. My family has to sit there and start eating at Rainforest Cafe while I'm out taking a phone call from a complaining client. It's like,
Exactly.
and it's like that happens so often, and it's the business I choose.
Yeah.
I chose it. I live, I sleep, I breathe. I love it, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like they're all getting ready. I'm over here working, and that's every vacation.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just try and think, where could it fit in? Would I love to be able to turn it off and unwind? Probably.
Yeah.
You know, Pastor Tom was sharing a story how he taught his daughters how to play video game. That
Yeah.
struck a chord. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
That planted a seed. I go, I have a 7-year-old. She probably would love the heck out of a video game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
about to have
just
a kid. I hope they love video games
I was
too.
like, maybe we could do like a little Saturday video game action or something.
Exactly,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I just think, and everyone, we live in this ideological world where everyone should think the way we think. I think people
Yeah.
should hustle, try and make money, self-help, all of these
Yeah,
different
absolutely.
things. Spend any extra time you have on growing and these different things. But it doesn't mean it's right.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. It's like falls into subjective stuff. To summarize, you feel like it's like less of like a how dare you play video games. It's more just like you probably feel like you don't have time for anything recreational, right? Like not even just video games, but like you wouldn't even watch TV.
I watch some TV, but it's casual while I'm doing something else, cleaning the kitchen,
I was about to
making
ask
dinner.
you're probably multitasking,
Yeah.
doing something for the family or for
Checking
your business.
text messages very
Yeah,
frequently.
exactly.
The evening time is when
because
my
you can't really
phone's
do that when
pinging.
you're gaming because it's
Oh,
more
no.
interactive, obviously.
But I do long for the day I could turn it off for at least a couple hours a night. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that there's not a world that exists that I don't get a video game
No,
in the
exactly.
future,
Yeah.
especially now that I think about like, oh, I could play with my daughter. That would be pretty cool. I think, let me ask you this. What are some of the good things that can come out of playing a video game other than just kind of mindless entertainment?
A lot of things actually. So, it sounds a bit cheesy, but there's certain things that you can learn from video games. Albeit it's like not like like life skills per se. But I will say that because I play a lot of racing games. Growing up while playing racing games, I had a general idea before even I started driving a vehicle how the physics of a vehicle works, and it's actually gotten me out of accidents before. Like,
Okay.
Like there's been times where, for example, like it was like a first rain in Bakersfield, and the first rain is always the most slick.
Right,
So
because
it's
the
like-
oil's on the road and stuff. Yeah, okay.
I was in my father's truck, and I just took a right turn, and I gassed a little too hard, but I knew to counter steer, and I slid a little bit in counter steering.
Yeah,
And so it's like,
interesting.
it's,
I like
it's
that.
a little like it's,
So
it's-
that's a rabbit hole of something that would probably
Yeah.
likely never happen
Yeah.
again. But
Yeah.
So okay, and what else do you think? Like, what would be like if you were to really? So if you were to ask me, Kyle, what is a healthy benefit of anything that I've named? Right, like
Yeah.
maybe pick one out.
hand and eye coordination.
No. I'm saying like
sorry.
any of the things that I've picked out of that I do recreationally or just with my time.
Oh, what? So you were being
So
more generic.
let's
so
say
like, what were-
the gym or something, right?
Yeah.
If you were to ask me what good comes out of that, I'd say, well, physical health, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say mental health because I'm forcing myself to do something that I probably really don't want to do until you just create a habit out of
Yeah.
it, right? It's good for your heart. Like I could go through a list of things that say it is arguably very positive in your life. What I'm saying is there a basis of argument like that can be made for video games?
Yes. What I accidentally said earlier is hand and eye coordination.
So that, okay.
Yeah, but like it's like a lot of it's a bunch of tiny skills that you can get from playing video games, and they're mostly like hand and eye motor skills.
So some motor control stuff. Okay.
And like
how
that's
would
about
that
where
help you in the real world?
I'd have to think of some applications for it, but it's more like it sounds weird, but like that's why it's good for kids to play them. Because it's like when they're still developing and actually learning hand and eye like motor skills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It kind of stops. Like I'm not like getting better at
Well,
life.
and I could see
by playing
where
games
you could
now.
argue this too. You could say when some of these war games, like you're utilizing teamwork, you're
Yes,
strategizing. I know that I've played Modern Warfare or Call of Duty. I don't know the Black Ops or something. I don't know the last one I played,
There's
but
like
I
20
just
Call of
know
Duties.
that
It's
you have to memorize that map. And you have to have a strategy of like, okay, here's where I'm going to camp. Okay,
Yeah.
here's a sniper spot. Here's like an ambush spot. Like, okay, here's where people come in. So there is strategy that can be learned and developed. And the thing is, people could think like they're only learning strategy in that video game. it's actually, I could see it creating a neural pathway in your brain that starts to think about life in a strategy. So
there's also like
did I just help argue your point?
Yes, you did.
I don't think I'm supposed to do that.
General strategy games like real time or turn-based strategy games where you basically learn how to allocate your time and management. And in terms of like for example, like there's a game called Total Annihilation from the 90s, and there's other games similar to it, but basically it's like a sci-fi like wars like game, kind of like with robots versus robots, but basically it's like who can create the most units the fastest,
right?
And who can create the best units the fastest, and you have to like learn how to maximize your output and stuff like that.
Something very interesting, and when you just triggered something so deep in my brain that I forgot. There was a internet game on the computer called Red Alert.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
Red Alert taught me business. And what I mean by that, oh my gosh, I'm having a revelation right now. So when I was little, I would get this money. This debate. No.
I'm kidding.
No, because I think there's a stopping point.
No,
right?
absolutely.
So Red Alert, what I would do is I'd make money off of my base, and anytime I'd get money, I'd reinvest it into my compound, whatever it was. I'd get money and invest, and I'd build my military or my army or whatever it was. It's been 20 years and a lot of beers drank. So that's in reference to the video game comment earlier. But anyways, so I would build my compound, reinvest, and to this day, I think that's probably why I'm very cautious with my money. When I get it, I think about reinvestment. I think of money as a tool that can be utilized. I don't think of money as just this expendable thing where you just throw it out. I go, wait, this is a tool. Tools need to be used.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that was birthed from that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
To fully finally wrap things up, I think there's obviously if you're a very busy person, obviously you can't prioritize recreational things as much. But yeah, I think we're on the same page. We're just at different points in our life.
We're on the same page, maybe a different chapter, but we're on the same page.
Yeah, because I bet you like 9 months from now, like 8 months from now, I'm gonna not have any time for any recreational things either. Besides like after the baby's asleep. So yeah. So stuff like that. But
cool. No, I like it. This was fun. And you know what?
You
challenged. I love that we entered the conversation with wanting to just talk. It's not like there's anyone so like, a lot of people probably are just seriously like anyone who touches a game is the devil, and it's like you can't be like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's trivial dispute. It's not really an issue, but it's still something worth discussing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
cool. Hope it helps.
Hope you guys like that. Let us know if you want to see more of this. Like and subscribe as always, and we'll see you next time.